Yep, loud and clear.
Perfect. Zare, it's going to be a bit odd, Roby. Uh, ዛሬ እኔና ባልደረባዬ ጆናታንን ኢንተርቪው የምናደርግህና I will start with me. Last year I was a communication officer. በአሁኑ ደግሞ የጂጂጂ አስቱ ኢቨንት ኦርጋናይዚንግ ሊድ ነኝ እና it's going to be a different combination. ጆናታን ራስን አስተዋውቅ።
Okay, Yubi, thank you for the introduction. እና እኔ ጆናታን እባላለሁ ጂጂጂ ኮንተንት ቲም ነኝ ያለሁት። Yeah, like I guess that's about me. Okay, Yubi, take the
Awesome.
stage.
Okay, so to make it fun, we're gonna try a little bit something different. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and then Jonathan's gonna proceed. So it's going to be like me and him back and forth. So let me start with the most common and basic introduction, like um, question. So I wanted to ask, please tell us a little bit about yourself, as some of our members do not know, or some of our audiences don't know you. What's your background? How did you start programming? Lots of questions. So can you please tell us your path from what you are, from what you used to be into tech? So start from your background, your name. Please share us about you.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, I'm Robbie. I work at IDS.company. It's an abroad company, like your company, I work as a full stack dev for two projects, the garden.gg, Nepal, a talent acquisition platform. It's a place where people share art, people share like their performances, and we have a team that selectively curates them and just makes them meet with the right people to make their lives better. That's how I got into this job as well. One of my friends was an artist on the garden, and from there he referred me into the platform because they needed a Svelte dev, and I was like, Svelte was not that popular as Ani. So yeah, the second project I'm involved in is mystackerresults.com. It's a health and fitness kind of thing. It's currently just gonna waitlist line. I'm still building it. Our launch is supposed to be on next week, so keep an eye out. I am 23. Yeah, I'm 23. Um, yeah, what else? I think that's about it. Um,
Okay. I mean, for example, you can say, I used to learn here, campus. I started programming at this age, yada yada.
yeah, for sure. I used to learn at for high school. I went to Noi Challenge. I don't know if anybody knows about Noi Challenge. It's this place in Lebu. Not pretty significant. Again, there was this one computer lab, and I was like buddies with the computer guy, with the lab technician. So whenever it was like launch or something, I just like nepotism and get in. I just like, hey yo, like buddy, can I use the computers? And they even had like a pretty good internet, so that's where it started. Like that's where I started downloading the courses. Um, is an Indium. It was like get into PC, and you just go there and download the software. There wasn't much. VS Code wasn't a thing. As any Sublime Text never download again. We used to write these batch files. So it was like insane to me. The idea of opening a text editor and then writing a bunch of magic text and making the computer behave differently, like in a way that you usually wouldn't be able to do with like normal settings, was just like fascinating because you would write like tree and you do color 02 first because and then you do like the loop, and like you just look like an amazing hacker or something, and you just be like, oh my god, look at this guy and he's doing crazy shit. No. So yeah, that's pretty much what like interested me in code. High school I started doing C++. There was this app called SoloLearn. I don't know if it's still a thing, which I thought was like 20 2017, 2018. I started C++ there. That was my introduction to like a basic control, like if else blocks, all of that stuff. And then I had this friend that was that like used to be with me. He just like used to mess around in the computer lab with me. So he was like, "Yo, we should start a startup. Like it's a dot-com bubble. Like we should definitely make something and sell it. Like make an ARP." So so that's when I transitioned from like C++ to learning web. So stuff like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and jQuery, because jQuery was a thing then. And also I learned Bootstrap, both 4 and 5, I think, which is my introduction to UI. I was like, oh, the stuff I'm making looks like absolute garbage, but the stuff with Bootstrap looks like real things. So I should maybe be interested in like making things look nice. So yeah, that's how I got introduced to web, and then it just like expanded upon on campus. I went to University of Gondar for campus. I dropped out.
You dropped out?
Yeah.
እንዴት ይችላል ወላጆች? This is what I want to know.
Okay. Here's the thing. I was in University of Gondar, right? So University of Gondar was a literal war zone. ሶስት ጊዜ እንትን ሆነን ነበር። ሶስት ጊዜ ተመልሰን ነበር. One for COVID, another one for like the first war, and the second war demo. I was like, at that point, it does not make sense. I'm barely learning here. And at that time, I had a job. It was like demo fourth year, so I wasted 4 years. Yeah. If you plan on dropping out, do it like early or something. Like make up your mind early. Yeah, I used to learn electrical and computer engineering. Um, Oh, there is like a few fun stories there that I can like share about me hacking the university and stuff. Can wait, what was the original question? I forgot. I got derailed. Oh, I dropped out. How do I convince them? I did not convince them. I did not even tell them that I dropped out until a month had passed. So it was like more of a proof of concept for myself. I was like, if I drop out and live for like a month, I can then convince them that I'm not going to just be out on the streets. I can just be like, see, I'm literally thriving. So it's okay for me to drop out because I can sustain myself.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
really don't know what I'm proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. Okay. All right. So next, I think we had a nice discussion. And everybody, if you have questions, please write it down in the comment section. Because after you write it down, we're just gonna ask them like as fast as possible. So next, I'm gonna pass you to Jonathan.
Yep.
Okay, Rovi. እንግዲህ like that's kind of like an interesting origin story to say the least. I mean, dropping out now, like working remotely and stuff. And now we'll come back to this. Go ahead. And okay, like up next, okay, tell us a bit more about like the projects you've done. And now, like I know, like a fact from the research, like you've done quite a lot of them. I know, like some of those like that interested me personally. Are like who talks the most heavy projects I've done by Telegram. Like I
Yeah.
think like maybe yeah, like and you have like lots of them. Send anonymous messages. The garden, I mean, artist project is and also like overall, like tell us like what kind of projects have you worked in the past? Like any memorable successes you've got or failures perhaps? Just like tell us a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Let me actually, should I like share my screen and show the actual apps, or is it just like a,
Yeah, for sure. Like that's yeah.
yeah, okay. I'm actually working on a rewrite for SMA right now, like literally right now. I've worked on a few projects. Let me pull up my portfolio. Yeah. The Garden, قدم ያልኩት, it's the image like talent acquisition platform የተባለው ነው. We have SMA, which is anonymous message sending. Don't worry about this. I was testing the profanity block. I'm working on a rewrite for this, which will make it more like this with better UI. and like none of the PGP stuff because people are complaining about the PGP. But yeah, okay. We have send messages anon, which is there was this platform called ngl.link, and it needed like a whole application that you had to install in order for you to be able to create an account just to receive messages. And I was like, this is just a to-do app with like multiple people. Why is there? It should have been a solved problem. So I just made my own version of the site that just does the thing I want. We have who talks the most, which is where you can visualize your like, for example, in a DM, a lot of people don't know how clingy they are or like how often they're texting. So I made this tool in order for you to be able to like visualize it. This is just sample data, but you can like randomize the colors, change the opacity, etc. And in order to use this, you just like export your DM, and then like put the results.json on over here, and yeah, that it basically visualizes it. I demo it, but like I don't want to open up my DMs. Um, and then we have wait, and then we have አዲስ የሰራሁት ያለሁት this would be a soft launch if I post it. Again, I'm working on something called audits. So if you were here for like you guys know who Chappie is, right?
Yeah, Chappy Div. Yeah.
Yeah, Chappie Dev. So he made like a message visualizer thingy, right? If you remember, you just put in your SMS because all it shows you a chart of Teleber, CBE, BOA, Manam transactions. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and those I just thought it was like a good concept, and I made it into a whole app. So you can use you can have like charts, you can visualize better. Like this is a BOA transaction, this is a Teleber transaction. It shows you from where to where the things went. So yeah, I even integrated AI into this, so it like auto analyzes all of your messages. So you can just select with AI, and the AI will go and like use an agent to basically like tag it itself instead of having you tag it. They're pretty cool stuff. It's yet to be released though, so don't snitch.
All right. Like, don't worry about that. It's like with all these projects, do you have any memorable success you found, or like perhaps challenges like you might find insightful?
Oh, okay. In terms of that, I'd say that that only happened with my actual paid work. So with the garden, we had like a very amazing launch. We had like over 3,000 users. We had like very amazing people on our platform. Some guy was even like an Olympic gold medalist. So I'd say that's a success, like making a platform for such talented people to be able to express themselves should have been like was amazing. Before that, I worked on this project called Second Story, which is basically like an IoT visualization app where um, there was this thing called the Matter specification, which was how every IoT enabled device communicated with every other IoT enabled device. So we made like a tool to visualize that and like aggregate all of the data. That was pretty impressive because I managed to scrape over 72,000 data points from the internet using like Python and Selenium. That was like a very interesting challenge to solve. Um, yeah, and on my current project, Stack Results, I am working on health integration. So stuff from your biometrics, stuff like Apple Watch would be integrated into biomarkers, would be integrated into like basically anything health, and it will act almost as like forecasting how long you can extend your life, basically. So it would tell you what point you are in your health journey, and it will tell you what you can do better. So yeah, that's I think that's like my challenges. And oh, for challenges, the garden code base. So quick backstory: the garden is a project that took 3 years, which means it's been worked on by 12 other devs, and the code base is huge. And by huge, I don't mean like a couple hundred files. I mean like it's a mono repo with 4 different sub repos, each of which have like at least 400 files. And that's like so bad to maintain because it was written in Svelte 3 and then upgraded to Svelte 4. And I'm currently doing the migration to like Svelte 5, which means it's very it's very large. One time, like I dealt with a bug that was so bizarre because um it just didn't like that I had hotspot on, and whenever I turned off hotspot, it would work. It was a port binding issue. Another bug I dealt with was Spell's reactivity was not nested in Spell 4. So whenever you type in an input, if there was a modal open, it will basically reverse your like input. If you put ABCD, it would just come out as DCBA, which is like the most bizarre thing to debug because as far as like the program knows, it's dealing with like proper code. It's not like erroring on runtime, but it's just like unintended behavior. I think those are like fairly significant challenges, I'd say.
I mean, bitcha. But like, I guess like you have a lot of stories. I mean, working with gold medalists, the healthcare stuff you told about, and I think
Oh,
like yeah, it's really interesting.
you mean
But I
like
guess like UB wants. Uh,
you mean like not just code, but also like just generally while working?
I know like we meant generally on your projects, and now I think like you've given us a very good insight into it. I mean, if you have
Okay.
anything to add though, like please be welcome.
No, that's pretty much it. The other stuff I worked with is what's it called? User support. So I was like on call for user support. That's like the most depressing thing you can ever do because users are very stupid. You think they have common sense, but no. No, one guy was like, I told him to refresh the page because I just pushed some changes just to fix his problem. And he's like, no, my internet is fine. Why am I refreshing? And I'm like, yeah, they just like get on your nerves.
Yeah, I think like we can all relate to that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you don't have any other points, I guess like UB wants to take us abroad, probably like you abroad, because you have some interesting questions coming up.
Okay, I literally my brain stopped at like users are like not smart me no part like because I'm like, are we allowed to say that?
What do you mean? It's the
I know,
truth, though.
I know. I got that good. I guess in my head I'm like, oh, he said, you know what? I'm gonna say it too. But I remember like our teacher, we had a teacher called Chare, as to Allah Software, you know him, and he used to always say the client is the king. You got what I mean? You can do whatever, but if the client says no, so in my head I'm like, oh, client is like the kubur thing, no? You literally shook that masarat I had in my head. Now, taking you abroad. Okay, so I heard from a friend of a friend. Actually, I did not hear it from a friend of a friend, but I wanted to talk more about the Huawei ICT competition because it's also a big deal in our campus. I participated. I felt that the national, by the way. So, wah,
Oh,
wah, I know.
Isaac,
But
Isaac.
yeah, I know. I just Galatino Zika. And now I am actually interested because some of our teams, I think from last year, I think his name was Bisrat, if I'm not wrong. They have went also to the IC competition, and also this year's it's like our people, us two people are showing promises, and also I'm pretty sure there are like so many people, including me, who are actually interested to know how you applied, how did it go, how was the test, which track, by the way. I believe there's like competition. No, I mean, yeah, competition. Is that the word? Computation. Yeah, and then
Cloud.
there's cloud and then network. So scenario track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cloud
so
innovation na networking.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
So how was it like? How did you apply? And then, if I'm not wrong, you made it to China, right?
Yeah,
So
I did.
yeah. So please tell me about this journey. Take us to China.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so it all started when our networks teacher, networks two. So we had networks one and networks two. Networks one teacher was like absolute garbage. Fun story. I hacked his
I need to turn off my mic because I can't stop laughing.
no worries. Uh, so fun story. Networks one teacher. I wrote a script in order to download everything from a flash drive whenever it's connected, because they didn't bring their own laptops. They just used my laptop in order to project. And I was like, in case they have test documents on there, I can just like swipe the test document. And I did it with a background job and not with Python. So I didn't find test documents on there, and I found his transcript. Apparently, this guy had he had his a C in networking, and he was teaching it like the most bizarre stuff, right? But yeah, he was like an absolute garbage teacher. I even on like the first and the second post of my channel, I had a script that basically did packet crafting, which is like super low level, making singular packets from, and the guy was like, "Oh, he just lash alaman." He just didn't even acknowledge what I did, and I just like stopped caring about teachers because Abu Hala. Networks two teacher was an amazing person. He was super involved with us, and now he was like, if you guys apply to this Huawei stuff, and now if you guys pass, I'll give you an A automatically. So lazy, like you don't even have to like do stuff. So me being the I don't want to work guy, I basically just like I didn't even apply again. Like በቀጣዩ እንትን ሲመጣ በቀጣዩ ፔሪድ ላይ ሲመጣ አፕላይ አረጋችሁ ማን ነው እስኪ አፕላይ አረገው እጃችሁን አውጡ ሲል nobody did, and I was like, oh, this guy is so sweet, and like nobody's like doing stuff for him. So ዝም ብዬ እጄን አወጣሁ ማለት ነው. I hadn't የዛኔ I did not apply. So right then afterwards I went and applied ከሰዓት ማለት ነው. I didn't even give it any thought because my intention was to fail. If I failed super fast, I can just go back to like casual stuff. I can just go back to studying for math or like physics. ምናምን. So I turned on hotspot. I didn't even go to like the library and like give it a proper grace ምናምን አልሰጠሁትም. I didn't even connect to a proper Wi-Fi. I did the preliminaries. Preliminaries like I didn't get that good again since the selection pool was super small. Um, they basically like let us pass man. It was like 40 people that applied or something. Kenya campus. So they just let us pass for the preliminaries. And yeah, I forgot about it. I was like, okay, we got a certificate or something. Like, this is not going to progress to something B. I was dealing with my life. A couple months passed because they're like, yo, we got your hotels booked and our flight tickets, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So they're like, yeah, for the national Salomon. I'm like, no, this thing is real. I thought you guys were like capping. So that's when I started taking it seriously, man. And before that, I like malak question answer are just like C. Here's my C is like the default answer. I was just doing that. I wasn't giving it much thought. And then national slide, I started actually studying the content. Yeah, video portal ነበራቸው ራሱ where datacom ምናምን ትወስዱበት. So I did that. I passed datacom. Like some of the first messages in my channel ራሱ ያሳያሉ. I tried it like 2 times, and then በሶስተኛው ላይ I passed with like close to perfect. So እሱኛውን ወሰድኩት ማለት ነው. And then for the nationals there was like 96 of us, I think. እና አስቱ ነበር ፈተናው ላቦች ውስጥ ምናምን ነገር ብለን. It was fairly hard again. It was not like to the point where it's debilitating. It was still doable, Allah, if you studied the content and if you are interested in the inner workings, you'd have just passed. كذا
Um,
كسو.
sorry, let me interrupt you. Like, which track were you on?
I was in networking, so
Okay.
datacom.
Okay.
We were doing the network switches configuration. ده سيسكو معنا كان just by Huawei. Yeah. So we did that. Lab al Nationals doesn't have lab. Nationals is HCIA, HCI, the source level Allah, like the lowest level line of the Nationals man. So it was still fairly complex. It wasn't complex to the point where you just like basically die. So and then you got to regionals. Regionals ማለት you've passed Ethiopia because oh, before we got to regionals, I thought I failed at the
At the
nationals.
national?
Yeah, because they didn't like post it, and I was like, oh, just it was kind of yeah. Biggie, we went back to Gondar. I was like dealing with my life, and I even posted about it on my channel. I was like, yeah, we failed. Sorry, we'll get them next time. Because they're like, email you guys passed. Thanks so pass. I'm like, what? Because they're like, oh, still you're going to come back. And they're gonna hotel in Islam. Again, this time, yeah, it was still in Astu. Again, this time I think Labna better. No,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah. Regional
yeah,
ላይ ላብ ይኖራል። Yeah.
yeah. Regional Lab አለው. No, Astu አልነበረም. It was in the headquarters, the Huawei headquarters. So የሆነ ምንድን ነው ኦሜዳድ ነው ምናምን የሚባል ቦታ ጋር they have a ህንፃ አላቸው የሁዋዌ headquarters. So you went there. There was like a big round table na በዙም meeting from all of North Africa man the other people na Mali na Egypt ምናምን ያሉበት ጋር we took the lab man lab ስንሰራ we had one problem. So እንትን አልሰጡንም ነበር ISO file. As you know, as you probably do know, I don't know if you know, Cisco በፓኬት ትሬሰር ነው የሚሰራው, right? Yeah. So Huawei demo, it had its own software called ANSP. እና በኤንኤስፒ ነበር መስራት የነበረብን. ኤንኤስፒ is not a simulator. የሲስኮ packet simulator ነው. ስለዚህ it doesn't actually send the packets background. It just like acts like it did, so you can learn about it. ግን ANSP actually virtualized ISO. ምንድነው actual VM ይፈጥርና virtual machine ይፈጥርና it loads the ISO, it sends the actual packets, interfaces to their real interfaces. If you pulled up Wireshark, you just actually see packets traveling through. ስለዚህ we needed ISOs ማለት ነው እና one of the firewall ISOs አልሰጠንም ነበር. The only information on the web was a broken forum link that had the ISO in like 6 different parts. Part 1.zip, part 2.zip ያለ. So I spent a whole night like downloading each of them, like merging them and got it running. ከዛ እዛ ስንሄድ it did not work. It just did not work on their platform one, which was very sad because like we should have had actual instructor መመደብ ነበረበት, ግን at that time they just didn't. We didn't even know we were entitled to an instructor. Like that's how much they did not give us any information on. Heck, even when we went to the global finals, they did not give us a flag because I don't know, it was just that incoherent man. It was messed up, genuinely. But yeah, after the what's this? We're on regionals, I think. Yeah, nationals, regionals. So after the regionals, here's the thing: we didn't know that regionals global is it's HCIE, which is the expert level. It means people have spent 2-3 years dedicating their lives specifically to this endeavor, and that's how strong the questions would be. Even on the regional slide, it was HCI, the second level, HCIP, I think. So the questions were super hard. Like Labu and na question. Labu Indom, it was easier because it said anthropology, it was easier. Then the questions, they were like extremely hard. And not content Russell said, like the study content, we were still thinking it was HCIA because that's the content we were given on the platform. Apparently, it was not man. So we were basically just set up, I guess, like set up to fail. Again, we passed in 10. Like we passed it in such a close call because first of all we were just denied, and then Egypt apparently had three entries who are like the same intent from the same country, and apparently by the rules you can only have like two entries from the same from the same country. So we كتاتشنا كweekly slot معنا. So we just passed based on a technicality. And apparently, if you pass the regionals, it basically means that even if you fail at the globals, you get the SR level. Like, yeah, sustaining a place medalya man. So yeah, about 74 different countries got the level, got the bronze medal. Yeah, it was very fun though. The stay at like China was super amazing. You can see by their infrastructure how coherent of a society they are. Like everything has a place, everything's at its place, and that if you see that something's like wrong منعم you someone in 5 minutes will just come and like fix it. It's like such an efficient like country. It was very amazing.
That is actually cool. What did you enjoy most in China? Like other than like that.
Our tour guide was like such a sweet lady. She took us to all of the tour places, tourist mahidmi Falgwacha places. We had a whole tour of the Huawei headquarters, the actual headquarters in China. They showed us like some pretty impressive tech where they had flexible fiber you can like bend 0 degrees, like literally acute man, or just yeah. It was it was super fun. She took us to a hot pot. She took us to buy stuff in Yaman Falcon, like souvenirs. Um, oh yeah, you had to have dollars. Lazi, most of the people only had 100, since they couldn't like buy significant stuff. Then yeah, you could like have fun.
Wait, hotpot as in like do you mean like the meal hotpot?
Yeah, yeah, they took us. She took us to like a traditional Chinese restaurant. Like it
Nice.
wouldn't be Chinese restaurant again. There, it's just a restaurant for them, right?
Yeah.
Uh, they had this like large table na زدنا برا هيك كيتوبرا. So all nine of us were like around the table. People were like struggling to use chopsticks. Meanwhile, I was like, haha, all my training has paid off. It
I
was very
mean,
fun.
I assumed you were just an anime guy, but
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is also my favorite, by the way. Just to say I know. Okay, so let me pass you now. By the way, one more question. I mean, for example, like they take top three, right? Is that how it goes? Like every stage, they just take like top three performers.
So for every track, you are allowed a certain quota of people. For network track, since network track has a lot of applicants, but applicant, measure midarago. The more the applicants, the more the final mihijaman. So for network track, we had 6 people allowed. So let's see, two teams, man, two teams of three. After the intent, by the way, after the regional, you're going to just after the national, you're going to be in teams, like for the rest of the entire month.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But is it going to
So
be okay? Sorry.
6 people for the networking track and three people for the other two tracks.
Oh, okay, so it's just for. I mean, I think I don't know if the people are here. Like we had the same like test last time, and they only took three. So I was like confused. Like two teams, is it? Like I was like, okay, what's that? You know?
Yeah, it's all based on how many people applied. So see if تنش سو apply كاركة تنش ثاني مبصرة.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like ب 600 apply ነው I don't know እንደዛ ነገር ብለው ነው I'm not really sure I don't remember.
All right. Okay. How did you? I know you implied that like you had less time, I guess, preparing. I'm not sure how to emphasize on that, but for example, some of us might want to apply. I will definitely apply, at least personally. I know that, but how would you suggest us to study? How would you? I mean, of course, you're in network, but something is there something an advice of some sort you can give how we can prepare for it?
Yeah, for sure. It depends again. What track are you applying for? If it's for cloud, you have to get into their portal and now start working with their. They have like their own version of AWS. So a cloud service provider, Lacho, work with the entire like ሁሉም ፕሮቫይድ በሚያደርጓችሁ ነገር ላይ work hard because on the global final ላይ our team did not realize that they had to use their specific Huawei supplied AWS and now they were just like using another thing and they got disqualified, not disqualified, and like they just didn't get much. That's for cloud innovation. Like Kahuna, try to get an idea that's like super amazing and aligns with the sustainable development goals and stuff. So if you're in innovation, it's more of a slideshow war than more of a code war. So as you're fine as long as you can like talk your talk. If you're in networking, the end like the hardest. If you're in networking, gonna preliminaries, start studying the contents. Like the moment they give you the portal logins and now like your account becomes valid, start Datacom. Datacom takes like a solid 2 weeks with very intended internala, with very focused. I was like pulling 3 hours per day, even after classes, just to like finish it because I was like so interested. Again, if you're not that interested, like just give it an hour. Again, just do the hour. Watch the videos. You don't have to do NSB መጀመሪያ አካባቢ ላይ just watch the videos, take notes. I took a giant like binder አለኝ አሁን ራሱ ቁጭ አለ. I took like 24 pages of how the protocols worked with each other whenever like the lady spoke like written ያልሆነ ነገር አለ on the PDF, so you have to also like understand that the commands you have to run is very important እነሱ ነገሮች ስላለ memorize ማድረግ. And yeah, after the preliminaries ነው the harder የሚሆነው የዛኔ instructor ከተሰጣችሁ that's amazing. Like converse with your instructor ከሱ ተቀበሉት PDFዎቹን because they didn't give us a intent. We had to like just improvise ማድረግ ነበረብን. Again, ask your instructor for PDFs. And for the global, if you get to global one, you're just set. You've like genuinely secured a third place. Again, if you want to like go the further and like go for like second place or like first place, you have to do NSP. You have to do NSP, but and in order ለእናንተ እንዲቀላችሁ NSP could sometimes be like buggy or not that detailed. ኢቨንጂ የሚባል ሶፍትዌር አለ ኢቨንጂ. So this also supports Huawei ISOs. ስለዚህ ዋናው ነገር የምታደርጉት in the softwares is um, doing configuration, like making SDP, making OSPF protocolዎችን ሴት አፕ ማድረግ ምናምን ነው. So practice that very very hard. We had to do firewalls, we had to do WLAN, we had to do, it was basically like making the entire infrastructure of a football stadium, and you had to do it within like 4 hours. I think it was 4 or 8, I don't know, got it down to number. Yeah, I think it was 4 and 4. On the global is purely lab. So there is no theoretical, it's just purely lab channel serve. And it's very stressful because you'd see other people. Oh my god, Demo, when you get a team, get a good team. If any one of your team members is slacking off, it's not going to work. three people is necessary. It's not like optional. And የሚያቅሰው ብቻ አይደለም መኖር ያለበት because one person will be the main person that does the configuration because ሁለቱ people would SSH into the like the main laptop ውስጥ ይገቡና በSSH they also do their configuration. So if one person is doing OSPF, another person can do like STP, they can do port aggregation ምናምን የሚባሉት ነገሮች, they can do that, right? So if like we weren't that good, and like there was this other guy who was like super amazing because there was me, because there was this other guy who was like super good with theory and not that really good with practice. So it was almost like we were half of a team, Allah. Like it was like 1.5 instead of 3. It was bad. Have all of your teams practice, have them be comfortable with like SSHing, with doing configuration, and now ሁላችሁም like synergy እስካልሆናችሁ it's not gonna work, trust me. Second place, no. Web. Bro. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That is perfect. I think all of my answers have been answered. I mean, questions, sorry.
Yeah.
Um, for the people, for our audiences, please write down like your questions below since we're gonna ask them. Okay, we're not gonna have much time to think. Okay, so write it down while we are speaking with our dear guest. Now, Jonathan, please take him away.
Okay, Robi, እንግዲህ let's just say, you kind of have like an anti-hero build, like, dissing customers, scrapping tests and stuff. And
Yeah.
like, my only fear is like this gonna be like our last episode, we're gonna get canceled. No.
I mean, you guys put a dropout on like your university's podcast. You guys knew what you were doing.
I mean, we didn't, like, I promise you this.
What? You didn't do
So
your
like,
background research? Damn.
I mean, we did again. Yeah, like we'll come to this, by the way. And now
Yeah, no worries.
it's like you have a very contradicting image, but with you, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, full stack dev at IDS, going to university, TypeScript, we're like, okay, this guy is clean cut, we need him. And then like we get to know you, like your backstory, and now we're like, dang, this guy's like, yeah, like I understand why you love Cowboy Bebop at this point. Just like perfect.
Fun fact, by the way, man, I haven't watched Cowboy Bebop. Sorry.
Are you
What?
kidding me? Are you kidding? Okay, now this is a violation.
I
I
mean,
Abomination.
mean, it's on my watch list. I've seen like some of it. I know the lore, and like I haven't like really watched it.
Oh my god. Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Jonathan, please take him away right now.
it's
You're gonna
perfect.
get
Just like
Salara go.
just like okay, chill. You want a question to take now?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what exercise you doing like currently about anything? Stuff you enjoy. It could be work, like it could be anything else. So just like tell us a bit more.
What exercise are you doing?
No, like what excites you when doing it?
Oh,
It could be
what
anything.
excites you?
Yeah, it could be a project. Yeah.
Currently making side projects. Like there are pretty interesting things that AI agents are capable of, like augment በጣም ያደርጋሉ. So stuff that you need to like converse with another person to like make decisions ምናምን ነገር, you can just automate that and make your workflow like super optimized. So that's what I'm currently excited about. It's about making AI agents because you can make them do like practically anything. It's like, you know how scripting and scraping is like super fun and you feel like you can basically make anything. This is basically like you can make anything, but you also have a couple slaves you can add into your code. So yeah, that's currently what excites me.
Like any like hobbies perhaps
Oh,
that you enjoy?
I recently bought a ukulele, which is like this small guitar thingy. Yeah, I'm
Okay, like
learning
that's
how to play that.
interesting. And
Yeah.
so like, do you have it now? Like,
No, it's on the other room.
like dang, like
I'm
Tabarnak.
sorry. Can you repeat that? What did you say? I'm sorry.
I have a ukulele.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's a small guitar.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
go get it actually, since
Yeah,
you're kind of interested.
we love this. We love this. Let's go.
Until then, like, people like feel free to ask any questions. Like, we're marking them down. So
እንግዲህ ዛሬ ልዩ ቀን ነው. Our guest is not just a magician. He also can play. You? Wow.
No, I
I'm
cannot
proud.
play. I'm
ukulele.
learning how to play.
It does not matter.
Okay. So it's like I don't know. I tried this though, which is like the Minecraft. Does anybody know Minecraft? I don't know.
I think yeah, we do.
Yeah, the theme song now. I was trying it with the tabs. It's a pretty nice since it's not like a full-on guitar. It's half of the pain and all of the pleasure, so you don't hurt your fingers that much. It's,
I like
This
how,
is like
like,
pretty insane, by the way.
yeah, and also I like the part where he said, "Oh no, I cannot play," and then he proceeds like to do well. I trust me, my life might depend on it, and I might not do as good.
it's okay. It's just a hobby, like so. It's good to be bad. You're just learning. No one's gonna fire you.
Okay, like thankfully, at least you have like a non-PR disastrous hobby, so that's good. That's good, I guess.
Mm.
And also, you be to the bit more serious parts, I guess. See if you have any question.
Okay, so we're trying to wrap it up. So please, Roby, be patient with us. So you work with TypeScript, you work with other technologies, and I wanted to know what draw you into them more. What draw you to be in this part of tech?
Um, and in this part of tech, more like web design, or is
Yeah.
oh because almost everything required UI. I used to make CLI apps like command line interfaces. Again, you normal users don't really use the terminal. So if I wanted to have my applications be used by a wider range of people, I'd actually need to make buttons for them and make it like an easier experience for them. And the thing that would let you do that was web only. So let's see, I just did web.
That is interesting. Okay. Also, how is your workflow? As in, like, when you get a client, how does your workflow goes? I mean, do you think obviously you might think about methodology? So, what kind of methodologies you use? How do you do your user journey? How we make personas in UI UX, and there are scenarios, yada yada. So, how does your work process look like?
Hmm. I don't deal with clients. I deal with projects. So whenever we finish a project in IDS, we get reassigned to like a new project. And we're kind of like in a permanent a kind of situation. So we start a project. We start the project with ideations. Let's see what's the initial goal. What kind of features are we thinking? منام بها text slates أفعلوا, and then we have a team of designers that go and make the actual UI. I oversee that process because they can make designs and they cannot make flows, which is kind of sad. Yeah, Malith, I have to ask the questions that a real user would ask because I build the real site. So I'd be like, okay, how does a person navigate into this page? Okay, why is this button here if it's already also here? wouldn't we be good displaying this information here instead of here? من عم يلوثن question, I just ask. And that iteration process could take from like as small as a week to like as large as 6 months. The Gardens was 6 months because there was like a lot of UI components. There were like yeah post UI component ነበሩ, yeah profile ነበሩ. We had like a new thing called widgets. ነገር it was a whole thing. Yeah, so after that handoff ይባላል። ያ ማለት the designers will work on marketing content, teasers ምናምን ነገር while I say we and it's just me, while I actually make the product. We used to have a few other devs, can currently like layoff ምናምን ነገር happen ago. It's just me who's the tech lead. And now there was this other guy called Bruno who was the mobile dev, and Sudama he quit, so currently it's just me. I'm the entire dev department. Uh, for this project, other projects have multiple devs. They have like 4 or 5 devs. Um, in order to communicate between devs, we use Linear. In order to communicate between design, we use Figma. And in order to orchestrate tasks, we either use ClickUp or we use Linear. And after the development has happened, the entire team on Leihonna, they just test the site for like 2 days, 3 days. If they find errors, we iterate with them. Again, if they don't, we just launch.
Yeah, by the way, Roby.
Yeah.
Zigar, before we leave the ideas topic, it's like, I guess, but this is like a crucial topic, no? It's like, you said that like you were a college dropout, right?
Yep.
And now, to be a college dropout, like, and it's like now being a part of like, associations like A2SV and stuff, to land a remote job at IDS, like specializing in UI. I don't like. How did you do it, by the way?
No, it was because of a friend. Like a friend was already working for them as a 3D graphics designer, and they were looking for a Svelte dev, and he was just like asking his friends. So it's just friendship. Knowing the right people and having like a good network will get you like much further than a good portfolio or yeah, it's just networking. Networking is very good. It's very important.
Like, yeah, but I'm gonna point out, like more often than not, when you see like people land jobs on Upwork and stuff like that, it's just that like they have someone on the inside that they get recommended because Abuhana is just like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
And not, in your case, like it's really special though. Like even without a degree, to be able like to be this competent and to land a job, I don't know, like it's pretty
I
insane.
mean, as long as the product gets shipped to quality, nobody cares about your paper, as long as you can do the thing that your paper is telling that you do. I mean, if you have like an amazing paper, you have like 4.0, graduated like top of his class, and then you struggle to like center a div, you're going to get fired at the first week. Allah, like even if you pass the interviews with lead code, the guy is going to ask you to like, marketing says that our people are just clicking out of the page because of this intent, this specific intent. Can you make it better so that demo they are not even specific about it, so they'd just be like, oh, can you make it better? And you'd be like, is this a binary tree or something? And no, that does not work like that. As long as you're competent and you can do what you're hired to do, people in tech don't really care. Unless it's like
Yeah, like
MIT or something.
yeah, like still again, like much credit to you. So anyway, like how's it like working remotely though from Ethiopia? You know, the challenges and stuff. Like, how would
Thankfully,
you
I
describe
have
it?
IDS is very lenient on how we spend our time. ስለዚህ, as long as we meet a specific quota by the end of the month of like hours worked, we can choose whenever we spend those hours. ስለዚህ, unless ما برات like لمولو let some scalta fathers, I can just compensate about lost work by like قطعي day or like the day after, which is pretty good. The other struggle about working remotely is the time zones. Sometimes your CEOs travel a lot, so you have to be on their time. So one night you're sleeping at like 2 a.m. and another night you're waking up at 2 a.m. And that happens, it makes your sleep schedule super messed up. And I like without coffee, bro, I don't know how I would have survived it. Third thing is you have to get third thing is you have to get a good internet connection. The most annoying thing is when a very high stakes conversation is happening because that really just like quits on you. So I have both a Safaricom like Wi-Fi dongle thingy and a fiber connection. So if one of them fails, I can quickly like move on to the next one. And you have to have like fallbacks, man.
Yeah, like I guess we can all relate to that እንግዲህ ቴሌ እናንተን አማረሩ የለም so
Yeah, that is actually interesting, and I believe it's like going back to the same topic. I believe like uh, for me personally, I feel like you have broken a barrier. Nagar. I feel like as a society, at least በተለይ ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ, at least from my perspective, is like we value education a lot. It's like you got a degree, it means like you're set for life and it's like, so I think that's why it's like Jonathan was also emphasizing, saying that, yo, this is wild, because I know my mom would kick me out of the house. and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
But
yeah,
here's
and
the
it's
thing though.
actually, yeah,
Even if you have a degree, if you're working local jobs, you're not going to have like a better intern. You're not
yeah,
going to have a better life, even with the degree. Which
yeah.
they don't care that you had your degree from like ASTU. They barely know what ASTU means.
That is true. That
Yeah,
is, yeah, yeah, and
like
that's, yeah.
go on.
Yeah, I'm trying. That is impressive. That is, I believe, the mindset we need to have. Since if we are pursuing tech, at least for my dear audience, I feel like this is just something that was going in my head, and I wonder if it is going in their head too. And I'm like, wow, we can actually do that. Wow, I am not surprised, but also somewhat also surprised. And yeah, it's like, the moment where a white kid is like, mom, shut up, but I know no African would do that, and like,
Mm.
wow. Anyhow, so let me go back to my questions. And now, since you work as a developer, what is the most rewarding experience so far? Like something, it might be a project, it might be an experience with somebody, whatever it is. What is the most rewarding experience you've had
Mm. Rewarding experience in terms of what, like
in terms of
making
development, in terms of your work? Maybe it is the project itself is rewarding. I do not know how to explain it, but for some people, for example, they might say, oh, my first project was like this for me, it helped me in some ways. Some people, they might say, I landed on this topic, and or I landed on this job, and it actually became a turning point for me. So I'm just wondering if you
oh
have any. Yeah.
hmm. The turning point, I think is before I worked for IDS, I used to work at this guy, Alexander Sorofimi Balgaale. He I forgot. Elemental makes me pal startup palo. I used to work for that guy, and that guy is like part of the reason why I started taking this like super seriously, because he was like a no bullshit guy. Whenever you made a mistake, he'd just be like, "Why'd you do this, man?" He'd always give you the exact amount of tasks you needed to do. He was like the perfect boss to have. And he's the guy that like got me onto Svelte because he was like, "Oh, we're on the bleeding edge. We have to like learn each of the new and up and coming projects." Blah, blah, blah. That was my first contract. I was paid 15K, and I worked for 3 months for that guy. I think 3 months. And that was pretty great. We worked on a bulk messaging application for him, and it was very rewarding to be able to like afford stuff that I usually just asked my parents for, and it felt liberating not to need their not to have to rely on them. It was like if I needed something, I just like go and buy it. I don't need to wait until my next birthday or something. Um, and then I think that's like where I started taking it seriously because I was like, oh, if I can get money doing this, I should. There is like a non-zero chance of me being super good at it and not getting enough money not to need to be influenced by society. Allah, like in a way where you can just throw money at it and it gets like it goes away. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's like the dropping out is also a part of that because I was making 10 times what my teacher was making and he's telling me how to do my work. That does makes zero sense, right? It makes like negative sense. So I was like, if I'm making this much and if the guy telling me is demo they were teaching us HTML4, the guy got like a deprecation error on his browser and he was like, I don't know what this is. Maybe our browser version updated. I'm like, oh, bro, some people want like but yeah. So if I could type the magic colorful letters and not, if I can change my life, like why not do it? I think I did not answer the original question. What was the
The
original
original,
question?
the original question was like, what was your rewarding experience and the turning point? So you went into the turning point first.
Oh yeah. Rewarding experience. Mm, okay. In different fields, different rewarding experience, which I'll, for cybersecurity, it's when I managed to like hack the entirety of University of Gondar's network because they just left their password unsecured. Like their password is Cisco. Trust me that it happens in Prodmon and like bro, there was 100 and something VLANs and the entire network was just like out in the open. That's like the most rewarding experience because I was curious for a little amount of content, like for a little bit. I managed to get like exponential dividends. I had access to the cameras. That was not legal. Don't snitch. This is in confidence. Um, so I had access to the cameras. I could do packet capture on their systems. Dude, the data being transferred was so much that you would fill a 20 gigabyte packet file within 3 minutes, man. And that was like everybody's traffic. And you can like snoop it. You can just like parse marshmallow. You can view it if you had the handshake namaga. That was the most rewarding experience for cybersec. For web, I'd say the garden launch because I made like a lot of features for the garden in a span of like 4 or 5 months, man. And it was like very nice seeing all the people be like, "Yay, it's finally out! Thank you for making this, man." And it was very rewarding. For my personal projects, it's just the people in the comments were like, "Oh, this fixed my problem."
Oh, wait, you have your own channel?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, can you please send it on the like?
Yeah.
Thank you. Please send it on the comment section down below. So I think I believe our answers. I mean, our questions are being answered. So Jonathan will ask the last question, and then we will go on with the QA.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Samaru.
Yeah, yeah. What's up? Questioning the book
Okay, like how
again.
much of it did you catch?
Um,
Oh, like okay.
yeah,
I guess my mic cut off and now.
no
Okay.
worries. So,
Okay, going back to the question, like, what advice would you give to aspiring
uh,
developers, especially like,
your mic is not right.
oh no,
I think it's
is it
better.
good?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, okay. The question is like, what advice would you give to aspiring developers, especially those who are self-taught? As in, you're a dropout, so you don't have any, in some sense, legal framework to back your work. I mean, except of course, like your expertise. Okay, just like, what about for the rest of us? As in, fourth year, fifth year students, even for upcoming devs, it's like, what would be your unfiltered advice that would break this, fairy tale? Like, get an education, get good grades, graduate, then hopefully you go abroad and stuff. It's like, what's your unfiltered true message to the society? As in, like, wake up and mess.
There's two ways that this could go after you graduate. One, you could have spent all of your time in campus not exploring anything, just like telling whatever Astamari Setatran, just reading it, regurgitating it, because you just go out. መንግስት ይቀጥራቸዋል because obviously you have graduated, you have the papers ስለዚህ and you be paid like 10K in order to make one of those shitty like 5 million coder websites that like basically don't work, or you can use the resources that your university gives you. For example, how many of you use the GitHub Education Pack?
I'm not sure. I
Raise your hand.
haven't.
Just raise your hands. Okay, two
Yeah,
people.
like people are
Three.
familiar with it.
Amazing. GitHub Education Pack is one of the best things that could ever exist because andanga, they give you servers. So as you learn DevOps with it. They give you very professional tools in order like CI/CD management. They give you access. The biggest thing in that pack is they give you access to front end masters. Front end masters has the best courses on the web to be like, and they're also super updated. I even use my brother's education pack just like piggyback off of him because the courses are so great, man. I learned Mongo and Node from Scott Moss. API design and Node የሚባል course አለ front end masters ውስጥ. So you just need an edu email. With the edu email, you get access to the GitHub Education Pack. Talk to your teachers ምናምን ይሄን ነገር facilitate እንዲያደርግላችሁ. And you get a server, you get a domain name, you get the entire value of the pack is well over like $2,000. Then you get it for free. You even have like a DigitalOcean server on there, like a 2 GB mega. So use it very well. You can use the resources that your university gives you to like upscale your skills without needing to rely on the university, because the university is not going to, dude, if you're not putting in the effort in order to like upscale yourself, the university is not going to. The university barely wants you there. It's not gonna care about you once you're gone. So that's
Yeah, like,
you're
this is
your
a
own
harsh
person.
truth there.
Yeah, yeah, you're your own person. Use the university tools, upscale your skills, and look at because you're going to have a lot to catch up to because of AI tools, because of cursor, because of all of that. You're going to have a lot to like catch up to. Learn the core principles behind the code that cursor writes. In order to do that, you have to learn about the fundamentals, stuff like API design, stuff like UI design, and I don't think it's going to get solved that easily because it has like creativity in it. Can upscale yourself. Look so that just when you hit the ground running, have at least like 2 or 3 projects, like large scale projects. Aim for at least 12 users. Allah, like 12 real users. Provide a real value. Like don't make clone apps or like um, to do apps. That's nobody looks at those anymore. try to look at your intent, look at your day-to-day life, identify a problem. For example, SMA for me was a problem of I want to send people ask me links, and I don't want to install an app, so I can just and solution. Audit was like I'm spending a lot of money and I don't know where it's going, so solution. Whenever you make solutions, you're telling recruiters or possible employers that you are capable of thinking in a high level, not just like regurgitating tutorials. And now that's like the major thing that gets you jobs. The major thing that gets you jobs is that, oh, if I get this guy on my team, he can solve my problems. Yeah, confidence in Archer for the people, they get you on. And they pay you like very, very large sums of money. And I'm talking like, you remember Chappie posted about this $30 an hour job? That was a real job for a React dev. So like it is happening. And if you mingle within the Telegram channels, if you talk with the people, if you post your problems, and now like if you're engaging, the networking the networking system that you build by just like interacting on Telegram, which dumb, I know, right? You're just like texting people. And that's what networking is. It's just communicating with people and like making sure they don't forget you and telling them what you do. So if you do that, you're going to have a good network. You're going to have a good project set, and you're going to get jobs. You're going to hit the ground running. Also, don't shy away from AI tools. Use them. And Devika, don't be like, oh, LLMs are the downfall of humans. No, use them. If the other people have unfair advantages, you also deserve to have unfair advantages. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, also don't get caught up on just letting the AI write the code, because they will eat themselves alive. Like complexity, but each because they just like the project doesn't go anywhere. Yeah,
I
pretty
think I
much.
guess that's a lot to take in, you know,
Yeah. Hopefully
from
this
the
was
AI
being
tools you told
recorded.
us, network. Yeah, yeah, it is a my. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
like go through it again and again. Like there's lots of to digest here.
Yeah, no worries.
I guess, Yubi, um, do you have anything to say?
No, I personally do not. I'm actually I was just listening right now, like no questions. I was like taking down my notes and stuff. And also it's like I did not want to misunderstand it, but I did see your brother, and I'm like, oh my god, I like
Yeah.
supportive siblings. I'm like, you go, boo. So, but I did not want to assume. So when you said my brother, I'm like, gotcha. So I believe this has been very lovely, Robbie, and I hope we get to see more of you. I hope so, at least. Like I hope we get to see more of you, and we're gonna keep in touch, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, please, my community, do you have any questions? Because I'd really love to see, because some of you are interacting well with the emojis. Of course, most of it was me, but so if we have any questions, please shoot it down. Um, I guess personally, this is it. Okay, he has a question. He says, "Why don't you have a profile?" Brook Musfin, he's our lead, by the way, an amazing lead, I tell you. So I have a question. Why do you not have a profile picture or any kind of default picture?
On Telegram or
I probably, I mean, I saw you on LinkedIn. I don't think like you have a picture on LinkedIn, right?
oh, I do have a picture on LinkedIn. It's
You
just
do?
for first connections in G.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Any of
Any
it?
of it actually. Okay.
I don't understand. I have like profile pictures on Telegram.
Really? You I'm a new subscriber, by the way, so I don't know.
Oh,
And then
maybe it's because it's like contacts only or something. I'm not sure.
um
Scam checking it.
okay. I see. I mean, what I
Yeah,
see
it's
is a
contacts only. I just made it everybody.
no. I don't think he means your actual like Telegram, your personal Telegram account, Saihon. I think
Hmm.
he meant like your channel. I mean, actually, not that
Oh,
would be
like
weird.
a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I am actually working on it. It's kind of hard to like find something that I vibe with, and because it's going to be permanent, it's going to be on all of my intents, all of
Yeah.
my accounts. So I want to actually take time.
Yeah, I think because it's because our people had a hard time like to put your like poster or anything like that. Because on the dev, like, there was no image, and then
Yeah,
like
like
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, for sure. You
I'm
could
the
have
guy
asked,
UB for
so
the
I could have
record,
sent
so
you then.
it's like a youth.
I know. By the way, Jonathan is our
Sorry.
graphics designer.
I could have given you the image. You didn't ask me, bro. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we were like, you know, this guy has like 7 websites launched, a LinkedIn profile, works abroad, but like not one picture. It's about what? And now,
yeah,
Okay. Next time, baka nagkabayaran when you're our guest.
yeah, for sure.
Um. Okay. Anybody else? Come on. I'm gonna do countdowns, guys. Okay. Okay, so Samravits, are there any resources or communities you recommend for learning or improving our skills?
Resources frontendmasters.com because that's the best resource. Communities, it's very dependent because if you're trying to, because local community are like Code Night, yeah, Babi Chat, yeah, Chappy Chat, like all of those are. But if you want to be like in like the global scale, do Twitter because Twitter has a lot of tech people. And now it's much more easier to like have someone reply to you on Twitter than it is on Telegram because barely anyone uses Telegram from the US.
I hope that answers your question, Samri. Okay. Anybody else, people? I'm gonna do a countdown and then like if nobody replies, we're just gonna go home. I mean, we are already home, but that's not the point. Okay. Five, four, three. Wait, I have a question. Why don't you watch Cowboy Bebop? I'm not done. I'm still stuck at there, by the way. Might as well make it fun.
Oh, a good question. I just don't have time.
Okay, I that's a good
dang,
answer.
like this much.
Dude, okay. Today I coded for like 10 hours, right? Like literally 10 hours. Um, Whenever I spend time to like recharge Barasi, I feel like I'm not doing much. It's the problem of like self-employment where you have control over your working times. It means that instead of a 9 to 5, you have a 24 to 24. Like every time is like you could be working right now.
Mm,
So if I'm starting an anime, and I'm not like the type to casually watch something. I'm the type to sit down, binge the entire series because I'll like be done with it. So Cowboy Bebop is like
whoa.
what? How many episodes is that?
It's a few
Probably.
episodes, by the way. There's only, if I'm not wrong, there's
Just
just a
like
few
one
episodes.
season, 12 episodes.
Yeah.
One season? No way.
Yeah, but by the way, it's
Yup.
my God, I think we made this like a whole anime thing, but I'm sorry, our audiences, but it got like shut down before
Oh,
it, yeah, it made it, but it was fun for me. That's why.
yeah. I could watch it. I can like slot it in on the next Grammy. Dude, I'm not kidding.
Must.
I
Can
wish I
say
was
how?
kidding.
Let's say must.
Yeah, I wish I was kidding. I'm not like trying to be busy. Like I am genuinely busy.
Jonathan, this is how we know
Yeah,
we are lazy bums. Baka. Ngitero does you know?
it's like we can't even like sleep for 10 hours. I mean, even though we have time, and yeah, I don't know. And now you're like, you code for 10 hours straight. You see the difference? Like, we can't even slack off for 10 hours. Yeah.
Mm,
We're just like, our attention is just dead.
mm.
That is actually impressive, Robi. Oh, I'm really glad to have you here. I believe all of our audiences are, and okay, okay,
Wait,
wait.
Mr.
There's
has a question.
yeah, Mr. has a question. Okay, how do you have a work-life balance, like coding and also watching anime? Wouldn't it distract you? And what advice do you have for those people that actually get distracted by that while you also want to work on your program or programming skill, actually?
Yeah, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's very tough. I get distracted. I get distracted a lot. Like sometimes I relapse so bad that I spend like 2 3 days just completely taking a leave when I'm from work and just like binging something because I just can't take it. But that's the thing. You have to, so your mind will basically start looking for the nearest source of dopamine if you don't give it enough dopamine. So if your work is like draining you so much to the point you only live like stress, your mind will just like force you to like binge watch something a lot or like play games until 3 a.m. or like just ignore things. So in order not to do that, you have to sprinkle in some things that you like specifically want to do. So instead of like not working for not having any fun, you sprinkle in the fun between the work. So as your body's like, oh, I'm actually having a good time, so I don't need to like look for the near source of dopamine. I can just like work and have fun. So personally, I divide my work sessions into two. I have a 4 hour working session dot because I have a 4 hour demo working session monthly. And in between those, I just like do chores. I watch movies. I watch Instagram. All of that. And yeah, after that, it's almost like a reset. I even have a nap in between. Like I have a scheduled portion within my calendar that says nap. I usually don't take the nap. I usually just like wash the dishes or something. I live alone. That's why I'm washing the dishes. For those who are like confused. But yeah, that's my current running theory of how work life balance. How do I get myself to stop and get back into the work? Um, a fun thing I like to do is open the code and look at the website, and the fact that the website is not complete just bugs me. No, I genuinely, because this button is like off center, and I'm like, oh, this button is off center. And if you just like look at it for a long enough time, you would just be like, oh, I have to fix this and just start. Another trick I use is I have like this special page in which I make the first edit. So whenever I'm like, but I'm struggle senior for me to like stop and start, I just go to that page, do a lorem ipsum because I want to save and run it. And just the act of like, oh, I typed something and made a change will be like, oh, this is what I'm doing now. You know, as your brain just completely starts like continuing to work on. Getting yourself to stop is hard. If you're in that um your body's depraved of dopamine and it's trying to get it from anywhere it can. Zamod like a honk. It is super hard. You just have to let your body go through it. So you have to just let it happen, man. You have at some point your body would just be like, oh, okay, I've had fun. I'm bored of this now, and then you've just reset your and then count your dopamine count, and you can start working. That's just how it works for me, by the way. Yours could be different. You have to like experiment with your own self.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like I hope that answers your question, Mr.
yeah, I think he also asked a follow-up question. How do you get yourself to stop though
Yeah,
and get?
that's
I
what I
think
answered.
he answered it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
answered it.
yeah, yeah. All right.
On
Okay.
the good side, though, Gun, at least like Roby is like us, like 2 3 days of relapse. At least it's relatable.
Yeah,
You're
very.
human, man.
Would you think I was like a fucking cyborg?
No, Superman.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying though, like
No, he's a Superman. Right now, he is. I don't know. For me, you're a Superman right now. All right. Thank you. I'm really glad to have you here, and I'm pretty sure everybody is. It was really enjoyable. I hope we get to see more of you, and I hope I get to see how far you can go in the future. Keep it up, Roby, and thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. This was very
Thank you,
fun.
Roby, for this box office episode, Ngiri. If you have any last words, I guess.
Um, Stay in school, I guess. Don't use me as an excuse, demo. Imagine.
Oh my god.
Oh, we will, Ma. We will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's call this episode unfiltered.
definitely. Like share it on a best from Lokaragach, like you just
Yeah.
yeah, special people only.
Nice.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody. Ciao, ciao, salam daru.
Have fun. Cheers.
Good night, everyone.